Welcome to Mind Care is Self-Care. Today we are confronting one of the most subtle but destructive habits, keeping people trapped in lives they secretly resent, waiting for permission to become themselves. Waiting for permission to finally start the business. Waiting for permission to leave the draining relationship. Waiting for permission to change careers, set boundaries, speak honestly, move cities, write the book, take the trip, or simply begin living in alignment with what has been quietly calling your name for years. The tragedy is not that most people fail. The tragedy is that many never truly begin. Because somewhere deep inside, they are still standing in an invisible waiting room, expecting someone else to open a door that was never locked. If that sounds familiar, understand this clearly. The exhaustion you feel may not be from doing too much. It may be from suppressing too much. There is a particular kind of fatigue that comes from carrying an unlived life inside you. It is the tiredness of swallowed ambition, the heaviness of delayed authenticity, the quiet grief of continuously betraying yourself in small ways because disappointing others feels more dangerous than disappointing your own soul. Over time, this creates internal friction. Your body feels it, your mind feels it, your spirit feels it. Anxiety rises, motivation drops, resentment grows, and eventually you begin to mistake your own numbness for maturity. But it is not maturity. It is emotional captivity disguised as responsibility. Most people think permission seeking is a practical habit. It is not. It is psychological conditioning. Somewhere in your development, your nervous system learned that approval equals safety. Perhaps love was conditional. Perhaps praise came only when you performed. Perhaps mistakes were punished. Perhaps being good meant staying small, staying quiet, staying manageable. So your brain adapted. It became skilled at reading the room, anticipating expectations, and choosing acceptance over authenticity. That strategy may have protected you once. It may even have made you successful. But what protected you as a child can imprison you as an adult. And many grown adults are still unconsciously asking invisible parents, teachers, partners, institutions, and social systems for permission to exist as themselves. That is the phantom authority living in your mind. It sounds like your own voice, but it is not. It says things like, wait until you're more qualified. Don't upset people. What if they think you're selfish? What if you fail publicly? What if this isn't the right time? What if they don't approve? Notice how rarely that voice asks what you want. Its only concern is maintaining psychological safety through conformity. Its job is not fulfillment. Its job is familiarity. Your nervous system often prefers familiar pain over unfamiliar freedom. That is why people stay in jobs they hate, relationships that deplete them, and routines that slowly erase them. The known discomfort feels safer than the unknown possibility. But here's the truth. Waiting for perfect certainty is not wisdom. It is avoidance. Waiting for confidence before acting is backwards. Confidence is not what comes before action. It is what action produces. No one feels fully ready before making a bold life decision. Readiness is not a feeling, it is a decision. The people you admire are not those who had no fear. They are those who learned to move while fear was still speaking. They understood something essential. Courage is not the absence of doubt. Courage is choosing alignment anyway. Look closely at the cost of your waiting. What has it already taken from you? How many opportunities have dissolved because you needed one more sign? How many conversations have gone unsaid because you feared discomfort? How many dreams have been postponed until they started to feel embarrassing to mention? How much of your life has been outsourced to caution? There is a hidden grief in delayed living. Every year spent asking permission is a year your future self cannot recover. Time is the one asset that does not refund itself. And yet, People continue waiting because external validation feels intoxicating. A compliment feels safer than self-trust. Social approval feels more concrete than internal conviction. Likes, applause, and reassurance create a temporary sense of certainty, but it is fragile. If your confidence depends on applause, silence will feel like failure. If your decisions depend on consensus, independence will feel terrifying. If your worth depends on approval, boundaries will feel cruel. This is why so many people live publicly acceptable lives that privately feel empty. They have mastered being admired while forgetting how to feel alive. To break this cycle, you must dismantle the validation loop. Start by noticing how often you ask for unnecessary permission. Do you over-explain your choices? Do you apologize for your boundaries? Do you seek excessive feedback before acting? Do you soften your truth so others remain comfortable? Do you wait for someone to tell you that your dream makes sense before honoring it? These are not personality quirks. They are habits of self-abandonment. Now comes the difficult but liberating part, learning to tolerate the discomfort of disappointing others. Because the moment you begin living authentically, someone will misunderstand you. Someone may feel inconvenienced. Someone may accuse you of changing. And they will be right. You are changing. Growth always disrupts old relational contracts. People who benefited from your hesitation may not celebrate your autonomy. That does not mean you are wrong. It means the system is adjusting. This is where emotional adulthood begins. Not when everyone agrees with your choices, but when disagreement no longer controls them. Start small. Take one unsanctioned step. Send the email. Submit the application. Make the phone call. Set the boundary. Block the number. Sign up for the course. Book the ticket. Wake up earlier. Turn the idea into action before your fear has time to negotiate with it. Your nervous system learns through experience, not theory. Every time you take action without external permission, you teach your brain a revolutionary lesson. I can survive self-trust. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. Your body may interpret freedom as danger. You may feel guilt, anxiety, even grief. This is normal. Do not confuse discomfort with misalignment. Often discomfort is simply evidence that you are leaving an old identity behind. The old self was built around approval. The new self is built around integrity, and integrity changes everything. Integrity means your external life begins matching your internal truth. Your words match your values. Your choices reflect your priorities. Your calendar reflects your actual desires. Your relationships become more honest. Your mind becomes quieter because it is no longer spending energy managing contradiction. That is the hidden reward of autonomy. Peace. Imagine what becomes possible when you stop waiting. Imagine waking up without the constant low-grade resentment of unlived potential. Imagine making decisions because they align with your values, not because they minimize criticism. Imagine speaking clearly instead of carefully. Imagine living so honestly that your energy returns because it is no longer being spent on performance. This is not recklessness. It is reclamation. It is reclaiming your right to direct your own life. It is reclaiming your right to disappoint people who were never meant to dictate your future. It is reclaiming your right to start before you feel ready. It is reclaiming your right to become someone your younger self would recognize as brave. And perhaps most importantly, it is reclaiming your time. Because the gatekeepers are gone. There is no invisible committee deciding whether you are allowed to begin. There is no perfect moment approaching. There is no magical arrival of certainty. There is only this moment. And the question is simple. How much longer are you willing to wait for permission from people who are not living your life? Your life is not an application waiting for approval. It is an invitation waiting for acceptance. Accept it today. not because you suddenly feel fearless, but because your future deserves more than your hesitation. Your healing deserves more than your delay. Your authenticity deserves more than your excuses. And your life deserves your participation. Take the first unsanctioned step, then take another and another. Soon, you will look back and realize the permission you were waiting for was always yours to give. This is Mindcare is Self-Care, where healing becomes a daily practice. Protect your peace, honor your truth, and remember, the moment you stop asking for permission is often the exact moment your real